Yes, guys, another episode of BTS, and now I've got the nine-time Olympian. He is fresh off a mammoth weekend. It was dark weekend. If you haven't followed his socials, Andre's socials, Brandon's socials, anyone part of the dark team, then you know what's been going on. It looked absolutely insane. It's of course that the Gavin Shades on. It's George Brown.
Yeah, listen, I had to put my shades on because I'm still there. I'm back at home, but I'm still there. But yeah, that was Memento Mori, man. That's the party that started it all for us. You know what I mean? So it's like a big deal for us. The energy is always good. You know what I mean? Like we never have any type of like fights or anything like that, man. So we all get to come together, man. It's a good time, and it was dark and civil. You know what I mean? So it was definitely a good event.
I mean, obviously, we really got to see it here in the UK. We really got to see the stories, so we got an idea about the energy that's popping off. I mean, look, when I spoke to Andre the other day, I mentioned about how much I love the attitude of dark socials, the posts they put out. You know, the WWE collab, the guys and girls they got on the team. I mean, what was this event like with with the fans of Dark coming over to check it out, to speak to the guys, speak to the athletes?
They always show us love, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's just it's like a group, you know what I mean, of people who all have the same mindset, anybody that is that has the mindset, kind of fits in with it. But it's just a bunch of people, like I said, that never give up. And just the slogans is what it is, you know. So it's always good to meet them. They love to see us, you know what I'm saying, and we just always have a good time. And it's always good for us to always see each other, every so often. The team all gets together and then we had that bond, so it's always good.
I was gonna say, especially if this is around like 8 weeks out from Olympia, for a lot of the guys and girls who are going to be competing over there, the Brandons, like Emil, Amy, all those guys and girls, it obviously must be a great opportunity for everyone just to catch up again before Olympia weekend in
Yep.
October.
Yeah, man, always good. Like I said, it's good energy. Everybody doing the same thing. Everybody's looking to kind of see where they at, you know what I mean, as far as, their prep or whatever. And then it's always good to be around the same people that are doing the same thing. So it just is it's always good to come together and then people execute and then we're gonna see what happened in Vegas.
Well, mate, let's talk about yourself, buddy, because look, you're like a seven-star, you're a nine-time Olympian. What's going on in the world of George Brown? What's going on with you?
Well, I got into management, Ghost Gyms or whatever. I got an opportunity, and I took that opportunity and started managing the cheesesteak place, which I just kind of broke partnership with, and now I'm going to have my own place. So that's kind of like as far as what I've been doing. I had moved up to Philadelphia. Now I'm back in North Carolina, and just kind of stabling things out with that. And I'm staying on point as far as competing or whatever. I still got the itch to compete, but I love sitting back and watching, the other guys. I've been out there for a minute, so it's good to see some of the guys that, I watched entire careers, and now they're getting their moment. But I still feel like I can get out there, you know what I mean, and get my feet wet. You say,
Yeah, I mean, hey man, look, I've seen your post. You ain't dropping out of shape. You know, you clearly
nah,
looks like you want to drop the hammer and get back on the prep. You can
yeah,
do that whenever
yeah.
you want.
Yeah, just dealing with a lot of like natural stuff, you know what I mean? Because we do take so much stuff, so kind of one with nature, just calming my nervous system, and then setting my sights. After that, we just simply manifest. But it's been a ride for me, man. I'm blessed to be able to be around. I think like I started when I was 31. I'm 44 now. You know what I mean? And I'm still going to events, still a part of it, still being able to help people out. I think that's what I get out of it the most, man. Like just watching the young dudes and knowing what they want and helping them get it.
I mean, you say you're 44, right?
Yeah, yep, yep.
So when I spoke to Andre, he was talking about the fact that the masters categories, cleaning up in those divisions, going to Masters Olympia. I mean, for yourself, when you do, you said you got the itch, you still got the itch to compete, but when you do find scratch that itch and you do get back on stage, do you think we want to see more on the Masters lineups, or do you think you'll throw yourselves in the open?
I mean, I won an open show the last year. I win open
I
shows.
know.
So until I don't win an open show, I'm doing open shows. I will still do some master shows. I've done one. I got a master's win, but just for me, I really like the pure competition, and I just like to go out there and see where I measure up. I don't need to. I just right now where I want to. I want the real challenge. Not to say that masters isn't. I just want the max competition of the best guys available so I can continue to feel like I need to feel when I achieve success.
Well, look, mate. Olympia's only around the corner, and you've been there, you've done it. Like I said, nine-time Olympian. You've competed against the very best. Yeah,
Yeah,
you've got big wins. You've stood on stage with the guys on the top end, both in different eras. Keen to talk to you, drop a few names and get your thoughts as well as we get round to Olympia 2025. Men's physique division is definitely being the talk of the last couple of weeks. We got
yeah.
10 Olympia titles on the line. With Jeremy holding four, Brandon three, obviously your teammate there, Ryan with two, Erin one, Ali hasn't got an Olympia title, but he's got the Arnold's one.
Hmm.
I want to start with the return of Jeremy Buendia, four-time Olympia champion. Obviously, we we know you've had your little back forth the press conference moment. I can't remember what year that was. That went viral.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Jeremy coming back in 2025? The fight for five, is it truly on?
I mean, look, Jeremy is the ultimate competitor. Let me start off by that. I've had my career with Jeremy. We both did our first pro show together, 2013. So he's the ultimate competitor. Once again, I want to say that. So is he going to be there? Is he going to be in shape? Yes, especially with all the talks going on and people trying to say he can't do what he has his mindset to do. Me personally, I just don't think that he has it in this climate. Um, Coming off of what I know, like I said, last time we won since 2017. I just don't, you got to show me, and it would be just like they said. If Phil will go out right now and say he could beat Samson, we'll be like, look, we know you, Phil Heath, but you haven't competed in 8 years. He retired, Jeremy retired, and all of those people kept going on top of the fact that the sport has evolved. So I just don't see it. You know what I mean? But anything can happen.
So if you don't see
Um,
Jeremy fighting on the top end, where in the lineup do you see Jeremy can go then? Because we still got people like Edvin, Vitor, yeah, Ben Quill. To be fair, I want to say Emmanuel, but he said he's going to go and challenge for the one spot. So where do you have Jeremy if you are talking about the fact the division has evolved?
Jeremy has, I'll just say it, like Jeremy's had two sweet places on his last, rise. He's had the one where he was supposedly going to retire, where he got fourth, and then he came back, and he got 10th. I believe that both of those, in my opinion, he could have placed a little bit like back. Like the four to me was a gift, the 10 was a gift. Like you can go look at the tape. I really don't care. So I can name four or five. I can name five people that he just clearly is not going to be better than. And you got to figure out, like you said, the Edmonds. Edmonds just be Brandon. These aren't just run of the mill names. Them dudes been out there working. I don't see how you can come off the couch and just say because of some success that you had in the past that you're just going to walk past. You went straight to the top. Well, you're basing those things off of things that happened in the past. You can't just say you're going to do that right now. You got to show us. So I think he should just shut up and show us.
One of the guys that's coming back as well, and you spent the weekend with him, is Mr. Brandon Hendrickson,
Yeah,
three-time
yeah,
Olympia champion. Look,
yes,
he
sir.
didn't have the best of showing at Pittsburgh, but he came back and blasted it at New York, did it again over Miami, and now he's back in the conversation.
Well, let's say I want to correct you. Let's
Go
not say
on.
he didn't have the best show. What I mean, at Pittsburgh. It's just Brandon. This is a guy that hasn't placed out of the top five in any Olympia that he's been in. What I mean? So his standards, if he gets a fourth place, we're all like, like, oh my God, Brandon got fourth place. But he lost it to Banks and whoever else was in the show. So
Evan
he
the
just did.
Vitor.
Yeah, yeah, and to me, those it's like he got fourth. Let's just say he followed it back up with another win, and to me, you can expect the same thing. I just spoke with him yesterday and told him, hey man, don't be listening to that. You're like I said, no one else can say that they've never left the top five. You already are. You got Arnold titles, you got Mr. Olympia titles. You don't have to prove, you don't have to talk. Those guys don't have what you have. You can just simply go out and do what you've been doing. You know what I mean? So he's always a threat, always. How can he not be? He has three, I think, three
Three?
times. Yeah, because when he write
Yep.
his signature, he put three times on. So how could he not be a factor based off of taking a year off, having to iron his little kinks out or whatever, and then coming right back? Have you ever taken a year off? Have you even had a career long enough to know what it's like taking a year off and then happen to come back and still hold that same standard that you set for years now? We had up on 10 years. We've competed at a high level of competition. So Brandon's always going to be a threat.
So you should spend some time with Brandon anyway this weekend at the Dark
Yeah,
event. So
yeah.
Where is his mindset going into Olympia? What's he thinking?
I think he's just gonna go quiet and go to work. He's not a guy that's what I said to him. Like, man, I wish I could talk shit for you. He's not a guy that's gonna talk shit. He don't have to. Why does he got to talk shit? He's got the coldest. They talking about the GOAT, man. Come on, man. Okay, well, which one of them can say they never left the top five? And then the Olympia, because I know he can. He got three Olympias. He got an Arnold. He been to Japan. You know what I'm saying? He's done seasons. Jeremy ain't never ran a season. How you gonna be the GOAT? You ain't never ran a season. Come on, man. We all done ran seasons, 5, 6 shows. I got over 50 plus pro shows. You know what I mean? So you got to get out there. Like I said, he got the championships, but come on. I'm going with Brandon before I would roll with Jeremy. I'm sorry. And I don't care about, when he says, because he made the comment, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not blah, blah, blah. We talking about you ain't won since 2017. It's not blah, blah, blah. Stick to that. Oh, you never beat me. We not talking about that. We call that moving the goalpost. Stick back over here. You ain't won since 2017. Please address that. Brandon is the 2025 New York Pro Champ. Banks is the 2025 Pittsburgh champ, and Ali is the 2025 Arnold champion. What are you talking about? What are you smoking?
You mentioned about the GOAT. You think Brandon Hendrickson is the GOAT of men's physique?
I do. I think he has the show count. He has the time. He has the titles. And I think the only person that could be knocking on his door is Ryan Terry. Ryan Terry get another one. Ryan Terry got Arnold. He got an Arnold. He's got an Arnold UK. I've been out there, so I know who got what. The rest is just people talking. People that want to say that they're this person. So I have them two over Jeremy because Jeremy don't have the seasons. Jeremy's got the championships. He definitely does. We can't take those. You know what I mean? But I just like a complete body of work, and the fact that those guys have been going. It's 2025, 8 years and still going. I would have to put them over him. So it would be Brandon, it would be Ryan Terry, and then it would be Jeremy, in my opinion.
One matchup we're really looking forward to, I'm sure you are as well at the Olympia, and we hope to see this earlier, but we haven't, is a prime Brandon versus a prime Ali Bilal. And the reason why I say that is both have said some stuff about each other in regards to we'll see who's going to expose who. How do you see that match up if both come in at 100%?
I've seen Brandon my entire career. So once again, I would have to go with Brandon. I've seen Ali be inconsistent. He started off hot, then he fell off, and then now he's making another run. I think that Brandon's complete. I think that, there's a reason why he's three-time Mr. Olympia. And if you see those two compare on point, then I think Brandon would definitely get it because I think that he's better than Ali when they turn to the back.
So you think obviously then we know there's a lot of talk about Ali Bilal's front, his
Yeah.
midsection, but
His
when people turn
abs,
to the
that's it.
rear,
They talk about his abs,
I'm
and,
about to
and
say, so
this
when
is a
people
whole
turn to
body.
the rear,
Yeah, Brandon is complete front to back. That's why he's a three-time Mr. Olympia. So to me, it would be easy if they both on point, which Brandon pretty much stays on point. Then I would have to go with Brandon because he's going to be consistent. And when he's up for the challenge, when Brandon is quiet, that's when Brandon wins.
well, so where do you have Ali Bilal in the lineup? Because obviously he's been very vocal to say that he's going to win it 1,000,000%.
Well, anybody can say anything, and it's 2025. That's what anybody's saying. Everybody's saying, oh, I'm going to win. Based off what? You know what I mean? Anybody can say they win. So he's got to show us. I'm seeing Ali he's living his life right now. He's, riding bikes and, he's doing whatever. And I see other people going into a hole, So am I doubting him? Absolutely not, but he's never won. He's got to show me. He's got to beat Ryan Terry, who's current 2 times. He's got to beat Brandon, who's 3 times. He's got to beat Jeremy. You know what I'm saying? If Jeremy, if like they say they're gonna give Jeremy a look, if they put Jeremy next to Ali, which would be great for business to me, um, man, Jeremy's waist is very small. Jeremy's shape, I think Jeremy's shape is better than Ali's. It would be an interesting matchup. I think if you put Jeremy next to Brandon, he would get crushed. You know what I mean? I think you put Ryan Terry next to Jeremy, he would get crushed. So it's just going to be interesting on how they move the lineup. And it always matters who you standing next to. And obviously, like you said, it matters that day. I think Banks just said that. It matters that day at the end of the day. If in a perfect scenario, I would still have to see it. You know what I mean? And I would just have to just make a logical guess on who I thought. You got to look out for Ryan Terry. He's steaming. Once again, I know how his mindset. So if I'm looking at it, I'm going, man. Those four right there, man. You got to watch out for Ryan Terry Banks. You got to watch out for Brandon and who's the other one? Ryan Terry Banks,
Erin?
Brandon. I said Banks. Oh, Ali.
Ali, sorry.
Ali, yeah, Ali. You got to watch out for him. And then it's going to be a tough, a tough decision, because it's all different types of bodies. Aaron's 6'2", Ali's short. Brandon's a little bit taller than him, and Ryan Terry's about what 5'10".
5'10", yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, man, Ryan Terry's talk about he ain't doing nothing. What is he supposed to do? What are you talking about? He ain't doing nothing as far as being Mr. Olympia. He's not doing nothing wrong. I know that. I see him start a gym. His business is good. He started family. You know what I mean? He's in shape. He's carrying the league as far as I'm concerned. So, man, it's gonna be hard to knock him off. It's gonna be really hard to knock him off, man. But we get to
Actually,
see.
I just want to go back to something you said there because you mentioned like the big four, Ryan, Brandon, Erin, Ali. If Jeremy does come in on point, which other four is more likely to potentially be at risk in being beaten by Jeremy?
Aaron Banks. Oh no, no, no. Ooh, Aaron Banks back. I was only gonna say Banks because he's tall, and those other three are a little shorter. I mean, if he's even in the mix up there, Ali, he's got better shape. Jeremy's waist is small, and he know how to pose it. He gonna pose. He's gonna look like a Dorito next to Ali. Ali's waist to me is not, what I mean. He's got abs, but it's not like the best shape. So I think that he can move Ali if they let him play, and the energy that he gonna have when they let him play. Oh yeah, he will walk Ali down. I think. It's gonna be like, man, those are some competitive guys. Ryan Terry ain't moving off his spot. Banks think he got, what I'm saying? Ain't nobody moving. That's why it's gonna be a great show. And that's why the chatter is good to me. It's not distasteful. It's just like any other sport, any boxing match, they up in each other's face. Any other press conference that's setting the table. That's entertainment. This is sports and entertainment. So when all these people saying all of this stuff, like, what are we supposed to do? Be quiet? Then it'll be boring. So Andre popped the lid off. Now we don't have to deal with all of the PC stuff. Everybody want to be PC. Everybody faking. Everybody is faking. There's no authenticity. So when he came through authentic, that's why everybody woke up, because that's what we all need to be like. You know what I mean? So it should be exciting. And if it keeps going, then let it go. Ain't nobody fight nobody. And everybody talking about, oh, he's saying this like he want to fight. No, he's saying it like he want to win. That's it. And then we all get to benefit by going to watch. So it should be exciting.
One person that has been a bit quiet and maybe a bit not match his personality, or maybe it's just evolved, maybe it's become a lot wiser, is Erin Banks. He's been very quiet. He's kept himself to himself, and it looks like he's just focusing on the task at hand. Is that something you agree with?
So I'm a pattern person, and his pattern has been to be quiet, like he was quiet, but then as soon as he won in Pittsburgh, he started talking. So he's quiet to me because it's a possibility of him losing. But if he wins, then he'll start talking shit again. And I respect the guy that talks shit, period, all the way through. I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win. And who are you? Are you a shit talking dude, or are you humble? Because you're going back and forth. You gotta pick one. So I think he's just being quiet, and if he has success, then he'll start, acting like he's better than everybody. That's what I got.
Erin beat Brandon in Pittsburgh. We know Erin is a 2022 Olympia champion. Can he can he go and beat Ali Bilal, who he lost against Eddie Arnold? Can he go and beat on the same day Ryan Terry, the two-time champion? And from what you're telling me, Brandon is focused. We could be seeing the all-time best Brandon at the Olympia. That's a lot of people take to try and topple. Do you see Erin making that big jump and taking the title?
So he's beat them all before. That's the thing about this. Everybody's beating everybody. Banks beat
Yeah.
Brandon. Brandon came back, beat Banks. You know what I'm saying? Then Ryan Terry came in. So yeah, Banks will lock in. He will lock in. That's why he's a Mr. Olympia. That's why he's who he is. And like I said, it's just going to come down to that day. And then if they're all on point and say that all their aura and all their energy is there, it's going to come down to who the judges pick. It's what it is, because there's nothing that can really be like, in basketball, I score more points than you, I beat you. You know what I mean? You're going off of a judging system here, you know. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, if they all in, yeah, Aaron Banks could win. He already won. Ryan Terry can win. He already won. And Brandon is three-time champ. Jeremy's the champ. You know what I mean? The only reason why I'm not disrespecting Jeremy, the only reason is I know you ain't been here. It's 2017. Any other thing, we wouldn't even be talking about you. We wouldn't. We wouldn't be like, oh, Brett Favre talking about, you know what I mean? He about to come back and, you know, whatever. What? Brett Favre ain't been in the league 8 years. So that's the only reason why I started off by saying, dude is the ultimate competitor. He always wants the best people out there so he can feel good when he go home. Nobody want a handout, you know, but I just haven't seen. That's it. Everybody else, he's included because I know he's locked in, you know, like now, but everybody else has been out there current, and that's the reason why I have them there, you know. But business is business, so you never know.
All the guys we just spoke about have got either Olympia titles or Arnold titles to their name. There's also fourth place in the world last year, Emmanuel, who's gone stated that he's going to win. He's got everything. All the others have only got its factors. Is that something you would agree with?
Emmanuel does have everything. Emmanuel's shape and structure is the reason why we know him. Emmanuel's been top five 2 years in a row for a reason. You can't just waltz into that spot. I think he just needs to nail it. I've seen Emmanuel nail it. I was with him. The Arnold, I felt like, you know, the one he got second to Banks, he was smoking that day. You know, I know he has the confidence. I know he has the belief, but he has to nail it. This last show, I think he could have, you know, did better, but it's not Olympia. So he won, and you have to do enough to win. If he continues to build on that and go in there and come in lights out, then he will give people some problems because of his shape and structure. The way his back is nasty, and he poses it perfect. You know what I mean? One thing that we was talking about was his symmetry. Legs don't get judged, but if you look at everybody, they're balanced. And then when you get to him, that's the first thing you could be like, oh, well, his legs don't match. It's the first thing you could look. You know what I mean? So that's where he has his chink. But if he can really nail his conditioning, that's his thing. He's got to nail his conditioning. I'm talking about crispy with pop. Man, yeah, he's bubbly, but he has to nail his conditioning. It's like Chiron. Chiron got to nail his conditioning when he out there. That's what E-Man is. If he nails his conditioning, you know, anybody could win. So I'll say that. But man, that'd be a shocker, you know, for him to go to forward, to walk past Banks, to walk past whatever. It should jumpstart his career. He would be the man. I know that if he win. But if anything, he don't want to take a step back. I say that. Um, but those three guys is the reason why he's been number four. You know, those dudes are legit, and those dudes nail their conditioning. He's got
So
to nail his feet.
if you had to go to the bookies and put some money on then your top five prediction at Olympia, the men's physique
On
division.
Emmanuel,
No, your top five, first to fifth. What's George Brown's prediction? Because we've gone through all the big names
the four in Emmanuel. So I would go Ryan Terry. I would go Banks, Ali, Brandon, and Emmanuel.
in that order.
Yeah,
First
I
to
will
fifth.
have.
You're putting Brandon
Yeah, I will have.
fourth.
I will put Emmanuel five. You got to beat him. He been there. He been there 2 years in a row, and he came back with a Tampa win. So you got to beat him. Yeah, you got to put him in there. Emmanuel Ben doesn't beat Emmanuel. Ben beats him every time. I mean, Emmanuel beat him every time. I want to say Emmanuel beat Vitor. I want to say, yeah. So none of them, Edmund and them, they can't beat him. Corey Morris can't beat him. Emmanuel beat him. You know what I mean? So I got Emmanuel top five. If once again, if he brings the same thing that he's been bringing at the Olympias, because the last two Olympians he's had great showings, but he really needs to nail it if he wants to move up, in my opinion.
I want to finish on Ryan Terry. I mean, look, we see it on the UK side because last year was a big year for UK. We saw two guys win Olympia titles as Samson and Ryan. This year is actually UK's biggest year in the men's physique division. We've actually got seven UK representatives, which is great to see that we're getting more Europeans going over to the States to compete at Olympia, which is just showing how global the sport is, how
Mhm.
international. Like look at Andre at the Tokyo. We got the Japanese men's physique pro coming over, which is great to see. Um, Ryan Terry. I mean, he said he was about 93% last year. He left the door open and nobody walked through. This year, are you expecting him to shut the door and make it three time?
Ryan, I had my career with him. You know,
You have, yeah.
anybody that has been out on the circuit that long. Me and Ryan, he was first 2015, Pittsburgh. I was second. For him to still be there at a high level, that's a dangerous person. That's a professional, and he's locked in because they're coming for something that he has, and he ain't trying to let it go. So I think that everyone is going to have to match him. He's two-time Mr. Olympia, and right now, Ryan, he posts his updates, so he's smoking. You know what I mean? And so I think that he's going to mentally be there. I think he's gonna show up, and it's just gonna matter that day. But I've seen Ryan where he beat Banks in the back, beat him, like you know what I mean, like he got it. And then if he's beating Banks in the back, then he can beat Brandon, and he just beat him. So man, he's always gonna be a threat. And if he locks in, it's I mean, it's not like it'll be a bad play for him to win. He just be 3 times. And that's when he would go to right there with Brandon. And then that's when they really got to have a conversation about, who's the best to do it. Because it's like Ryan Terry, Brandon got his on the front end and Ryan Terry get his on the back end. You know what I mean? So those two dudes, it's not even close to me as far as a career and accomplishments. It's not even close.
We
But yeah, Ryan Terry, the Blight Englishman. Yeah, Blight.
we we talk about the you've been there, you've from the very start, you've seen the division evolve.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about the evolution of the prize money for men's physique. Do you think it's in the right place at the moment? And if not, where should the prize money be for men's physique on the Olympia standpoint? And I raise this question because, of course, I put a post out the other day, Andre saying men's physique, bikini, and wellness keeps the lights on across all the shows. And he feels the prize money should be a lot higher. Where's your head in that? Given the fact that you've got so much experience in the division.
I would say in a as a whole, like during the year, but at Olympia, it is the open bodybuilders. They are the meat and potatoes. We are not filling up arenas. That is not the bikini division. It's not men's physique. It is the open bodybuilders. They want to come see the real bodybuilders. So I just want to say that that's my opinion on that. As far as prize money, we can see it go up and down with promoters, and the way that they get their prize money. So it's on you, kind of, they let you can't really say what it is. I mean, yeah, we want it to be more, and it has went up, but it has to be justified. Where's the justification for it going up more? Anytime else you go in somewhere, you say, hey, I want to raise, and here's why, right? We have to have the why, and then we have to have some actual numbers to back that to be able to at least even make a case. You know what I mean, for something. But then that would come down to who's the representative, who's the person that's really going in trying to, do something. So this is a business, and I think a lot of competitors don't realize that this is a business. So you need to treat it like one. Definitely when it comes to prize money and things like that. So it has to be some type of structure, and then you have to have some numbers to back it before you go in. And they are putting more prize money up because they are making more money. But to think that it's 200,000 or whatever, it's went up. And as long as it's going up, eventually it's going to be 100,000. I remember the first one was like 10,000. I think it's like 60 or something now, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually that's creeping up to 75. Before you get 75, you at 100. It's like back in the day. The contracts for that Michael Jordan and them got into contracts that they're giving out now. You know what I mean? So they making more money. It's evolving. But then also, if you're not Samson, like you shouldn't be trying to build your life off of bodybuilding. This is actually a hobby. It actually is. You know what I mean? So you should learn how to make money. That's what I did. I learned how to make money. What are your services? I've judged. I've done media. I got all my I have all type of things. You got to get your sponsors. You have to get your money from different places. If this is the only thing that you want to do, you can't just be dependent on prize money because that's a job. And if you don't win, you don't get nothing. So my first thing was to learn how to compete for free. And it doesn't matter what you do on stage, is what you can do for a company. Can you sell a product? That's your real value. It's no different than where's your value? Okay, well, you're good on stage, but then what else can you do? Can you speak? No. Can you, what do? You just win? Okay, then what? And that's what a lot of people don't get. Ryan Terry does a lot. Brandon does a lot, So that's what I got to say about that.
Now, that's actually really, really insightful for not just anyone in men's physique, but anyone in bodybuilding, amateur or pro scene, to look at what else can they offer apart from being a body on the stage. What are your specialties? What's your
Yeah.
niche? I mean, how do
Yeah,
you monetize that?
I'm giving out info. I'm giving out experience. Hey man, if you want to do this, you should do this. Hey man, you help people out. A lot of people, they ain't helping nobody. They selfish. And when you in this position, you're a servant. It's your job to motivate and inspire. That's what I do. You know what I mean? And for you to be given the light, well, why did they give you the light? You should be the person that should be passing out. That's why a responsible person, they get money because they're going to put it where it's supposed to be. They're not just going to be selfish. So it's been an experience for me, but it's taught me a lot. And this is a great network to pull from, the bodybuilder network. You got all different type of people, and I have a worldwide network from competing, and that's what I'm using. That's how I was able to bridge one thing from bodybuilding to managing a gym. I ain't had no experience, but I was good with people. I used that, learned that, and then now I took my management skills to the food service. What am I doing serving food? But I'm a good manager and I'm great with people. And it's all about, your resources and what you can do. And I can still tie that back to bodybuilding because every bodybuilder, after they get done eating, they're going to want a cheesesteak. So everybody, let's say it right now, cheesesteak. George, cheesesteak, you buy.
Uh,
I got one for you when I see you.
before we wrap this up, buddy, I want to ask one final question because, like I said, all that experience, all that knowledge you have within the men's physique division, if you were in a position in the IFBB where you could make one change for the men's physique division to make it better, to take it to the next level, what one thing would that
Ooh,
be?
that's a good question, man. That's a great question. What would it be? What would I change? I mean, listen, it's not that bad. It's not. I mean, everybody always gonna try to like say the judging. You know what I'm saying? But what else could you come with? Like, what are they gonna judge? Chest or what? There's no measuring. Like that's why basketball, you put the ball in the hole. We know that count. So I mean, the only thing I really could say was, I mean, we make more money. I mean, I don't have no problem with the league. I don't have no problem with it. It's provided me opportunity. I see where they're giving you a platform. Everybody's talking about what we want. Well, what have they given me? Well, they gave me a platform and gave me all different type of avenues for all of these experiences that I'm having right now, all through bodybuilding. So if it wasn't for me going up there on stage, having an opportunity in NPC, then I wouldn't have been with Dark, and I wouldn't be with all of these other people's having all of these experiences, because of that. So I really wouldn't change much. It's just I set my mind for this. And I think a lot of people, when they're going for stuff, that I know 10 other people that set their mind for it, that really said it, that was saying, hey, I'm really going to do this and stay focused and really got it. So there's really nothing to change. Everybody want more money. So I would be like, I mean, find a way to make more money, I guess, as far as prize money. But even for me, that doesn't matter because I don't really, do it for the prize money. Because I have other avenues, of cash coming in. But I would just say more money because I really don't have a problem with it. It's just guys show up on point. For the most part, it's always going to be something everybody going to feel like they won. But I think the judges are straight. I ain't got no problem with it. You know what I mean? It's always going to be the ones where we talk about, oh, this person got a gift. But hey, I've gotten gifts. Andre's gotten gifts. We all got a gift before. My word. That's a gift means like, you've been doing a lot and we could have gave it to this person. Don't do that again. But, we're going to go ahead and, you had enough. That person didn't beat you, but it was because of your standards that you set for yourself. It was like, hey, you might want to make sure you bring the real standard the next time. So there was nothing wrong with Jeremy getting that because he's a four-time Mr. Olympia. What you gonna do? You can't throw him to the floor, So the money. It's always about the money.
George, I really appreciate your time, especially after the busy weekend you just had of a dark event. Like I said, it looked phenomenal. I really do appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing when you get back on stage. What's also
Yeah,
exciting is all the stuff you got going on in the back end.
absolutely,
The new ventures, which is equally as exciting.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna be ready, man. I'm like I said, I'm just figuring that out, but staying ready, and I'm looking at after the Olympia. Really to see what they got out there and see what I can do.
Oh, so you might be stepping on stage after Olympia.
Maybe it's sweet right now, man. I'm like, damn, I wish I would have been in shape because I'm looking at shows that I feel like I can win. I'm not saying I'm about to go out here and be this powerhouse. I'm gonna win an open show and get me my 10th Olympian. That's just what it's about to me. I know how to maneuver, and so I don't have to go win the big shows. I already won those, and so I'm looking at it at a strategic point. I think other guys should do that too. Leave your ego at the door. Go win the show. Go win. You might not want to go. And I'm a person that I did do the same thing I'm telling you don't do. You know what I'm saying? But go look at it strategically because I've seen a couple of people with second, third, and look at these shows where those guys that got second and third against really good competition will easily walk in and I feel like, maybe pick up a W and be able to punch their ticket to Olympia. And you got to get to Olympia, man. Just go one time. I'm blessed enough to, be able to go as many times as I've been, but just one time, man. You're the best in the world. I don't care if you go there and you don't win shit, man. You get to ride on the bus. You know what I mean? You got your tickets. You got the, you know what I mean? The meet and greets, and you just with the best people in the world, and you're one of them. And I think people should just, look at it more like that instead of just being like, hey, I want to be at the top. Everybody but want to be at the top. But if you're a part of it and you worked for it, you should feel good about yourself.
I said this to I said this one the I think it was Savannah who won the Tupelo bikini division last weekend. I said to her that Andre made a point that look, there's loads of IFB Pro cards being awarded nowadays. Oh, you're IFB Pro, wow, big whoop. Have you won a pro show? Have you stood on the Olympia stage? And then not only you stood on the Olympia stage, but also how global the brand is now. You're actually representing your country. Some countries only have two or three Olympians. Some only have one Olympian. So you're representing that
Mm-hmm.
country on the biggest stage in bodybuilding,
Yeah.
which is like that is
Yeah.
what a flex that is.
Yes. That's what I just told you, Emmanuel. I mean, not Emmanuel, but Emil. I was like, bro, you got England on your back. On your back. You know what I mean? So he had to go lock in. As he's gonna come out like he's supposed to. Emil is funny. Emil, you funny. He's a funny guy. With him all weekend, man. Funny. Hey man, big black got man.
George, mate, I appreciate time, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.